I know there are a lot of you guys that's out there that's just going, really, John Cena, Randy Orton for the 999th time. Once again, seriously, it's almost 1,000 right here. It's actually not as many matches as you think. I actually have to go look it up again. I think what's going to be happening at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view may be marking the 49th 50th or 51st time that these guys are going to be taking each other on. I have to look it up, but regardless of the situation, I know there is probably a lot of you guys that aren't really too keen on seeing that again. Some of you guys had actually took the time out to send me a message or two when you had found out how the card was going to be coming about for Hell in a Cell. You guys were like, oh man, it looks like we got some recycled stuff that's going on here at Hell in a Cell. Not really too much to check out, but look, I gotta go one better than that. Here's where I'm coming from right now. I mean, what exactly is the end result gonna be for Dean Ambrose? What's the end result going to be for Seth Rollins? Because you just go back to when the Shield was first broken up. You're like, okay, they're going to break the Shield up. First of all, I thought there was still plenty of fettuccinis to be made off of the Shield. I so was against the Shield being broken up. And I know we were one of the first of many shows that had put the question out there, okay, well, if you're going to break the Shield up, then who's going to replace Seth Rollins? And it was okay for us to have that mentality because we all could be in agreement. We realized that the Shield was money, that you had a really good force that was going on right there. You had a really good stable that was connecting with a lot of folks. It was definitely connecting to the audience. You know how many WWE live events I had the fortunate pleasure of going to? And when the Shield was on that card, how many adults were pushing something Shield related? I mean, you really did not see hardly any adults wearing WWE merchandise otherwise. The kids might have been pushing the John Cenas or the Rey Mysterios and all that other stuff, but the adults, especially amongst the guys, they were pushing the Shield merchandise. So I'm saying to myself, that's fettuccinis right there waiting to continue to be grabbed. What's going on with a replacement for Seth Rollins? But unfortunately, it did not go that route. But, ever since the Shield broke up, it's kind of been like, really think about this. Think about it now. What has the Shield members really been doing? They've just been feuding with each other, so I can't really help but say to myself, what exactly is the end result gonna be after this whole Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose thing is over? What's next? Are they finally gonna break off, or are they finally gonna go get into other feuds with other people? What's going to happen with Roman Reigns when he gets ready to come back? Because, I mean, as it stands right now, and I'm just thinking about this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that's going to be coming up, I'm sorry, but Seth Rollins is not a Ric Flair. He's not a Gorgeous George. He is not a Bobby the Brain Heenan. He is not one of those guys that I want to pay 50, 60, X amount of money to watch a pay-per-view and see him get his ass kicked. Now, that's not saying that Seth Rollins sucks, that there's something wrong with him, but at the same time, Seth Rollins has not reached that magnitude yet, and that's the key word I want to stress, yet, of being like a Ric Flair, like a Tully Blanchard, like a Gorgeous George, like a Bobby the Brain Heenan. He hasn't gotten there yet. Can he get there in due time? It's very well possible, but just this whole facade is the best way I can describe it of how Seth Rollins is being built up. Oh, well, John Cena, Dean Ambrose, you guys, you really want a piece of that Seth Rollins, huh? You really, really want him, don't you? You want him so bad you can taste it, don't you? Well, tell you what, you can get him inside of a steel cage. It's kind of like, yeah, alright, whatever, there's some serious work that needs to be done with these former Shield guys, especially with Seth Rollins. I mean, you keep saying to me Seth Rollins is, Mr. Money in the Bank, but I dare say, I don't think he's going to be a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I think this Seth Rollins guy is going to be another person that's going to cash in the briefcase and is going to fail. I could be wrong with that, but that's just the honest vibe that I'm getting, because I do not see him being the face of the WWE. And just to prove that point, those of you that did not watch Raw this week, just go back to that one key moment where you had saw Seth Rollins. He had ended up picking up a victory over Jack Swagger as Randy Orton was looking on. And think about that RKO that Jack Swagger had received from Orton after Seth Rollins had defeated him, and how Randy Orton just got all up in Seth Rollins' face, and the crowd was eating that up. I mean, they were actually cheering for Orton, and you could see Orton actually play to the crowd a little bit. I mean, if I'm looking at that, if I'm the bookers and I'm trying to get Seth Rollins over as a future WWE champion or whatever, to see that go down, that's kind of backfiring a little bit. That's actually kind of bad. That's not what I want for the crowd to do. I want for the crowd to be given those reactions, whether it's cheers or boos. I want all that to be coming to Seth Rollins. And the fact that Randy Orton kind of outshined him a bit, that's not really a good thing, okay? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm really concerned about Seth Rollins. I'm definitely concerned about Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose, he has the right ingredients that's in play right now to be a bona fide superstar in the WWE. He is given a really good golden opportunity right now, as there's no CM Punk, there's no Daniel Bryan, there's no Roman Reigns for the foreseeable future, there's no Brock Lesnar. The fields are just wide open right now for Dean Ambrose to slide in there and be the second babyface in the company. And WWE realizes that. I mean, hell, now Dean Ambrose has his own t-shirt. I mean, it's about freaking time. Now, I'm very curious to see how the sales for that new t-shirt goes, by the way. But still, I'm very concerned about what's going to happen, afterwards. I mean, you got to put some stipulations out there for Dean Ambrose taking on Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. I mean, I would suspect you would say something along the lines of, look, win, lose, or draw, this is it. This is going to be the last time that you two guys face one another. After that, it's time for you guys to move on. But the fact that that has not happened yet, guys, I'm just preparing you all. We may see another pay-per-view month where these guys are going to be facing one another again. And that's probably going to make a lot of you guys groan. But, hey, we'll see what comes down with that in the future.